welcome to today's video. Milo's getting back in his bed. But today what I want to take you through is a lower body flow for stretching. So we just traveled across the country and my hips and my quads and everything feels super achy. I feel really stiff and I just feel really tight. Honestly, it's crazy to me because I didn't work out hard for the entire time I was on vacation. I did some fitness, but it took a little bit of time off. So I was expecting my body to feel really good, but just sitting in one position for 9 to 12 hours as we travel just makes you almost feel worse and feel a lot tighter than when you're working out and you're in your regular routine. So today what I want to show you guys is one of my lower body flows from GoWOD Mobility. It's an app that will just take you straight through all of these awesome exercises, and you can pick a thoracic flow, so that's going to be our upper back. You can pick a lower body flow, you could pick a lower back, you can pick upper body. And so for me, my upper body feels pretty good because I could move around on the plane, but my hips and my lower back are super tight. So that's what we're going to work on today. All right, so we're gonna hit a couple stretches. The first one we're gonna start with is a squat opener. So what I forgot to tell you guys is we actually did this GoWOD Mobility flow in the airport on the way to where we were going during our layover. So I had an hour, I just opened up my app, I found a corner and I hopped into it. So having this and incorporating stretching as you're traveling is super helpful, and it's also gonna lower your stress. So you're gonna feel like you can manage that stress just from the hustle and bustle of travel. But let's get started with today's routine. So, sorry, side note. The first one we're gonna start with is a squat opener, and we're gonna hold this for 2 minutes. So a squat opener means I'm gonna come down into my squat position and I'm gonna use my elbows to drive my knees out as I lift my chest. I'm feeling super tight, so I'm actually gonna move over and I'm gonna hold on to something. So I like to do this just to work myself into the squat, and so I can keep my chest up a little bit more and just kind of get comfortable down in the squat position, driving my knees out. So I usually will spend a minute just holding on to something just so I can get comfortable in the position, and then a minute without holding on to something. So it's always okay to kind of modify and shift the stretches if you need to, so you get more out of the stretch and you accomplish what you want to accomplish. What I'm gonna do, this is one of my favorite ones to also warm up before I squat with. But we're gonna roll backwards and try to touch our feet behind our head, keeping our neck nice and long. So what that's gonna look like is I'm just gonna roll back, and then I'm gonna reach, coming into a V-sit position. I like to reach for each foot, and then I bring my legs back together. We're gonna roll back, and then I'm gonna reach. The roll back should be super controlled. We shouldn't be forcing anything, and we wanna feel like we can keep our neck nice and long, so we just feel a nice good stretch down our lower back. Try to go a little further each time. If you're not comfortable with the roll back, then for this minute, what I would recommend, just reach to the toe, reach to the front, reach to the toe, back to the front, back to the toe, and just keep working through that for a minute, continuing to open up our adductors and also our lower back. Our third stretch today is going to be the frog. This is one of my favorites. If your knees are sensitive, I would highly recommend getting a yoga mat or having a towel underneath of your knees, or even some pillows. But what we're gonna do is we're actually gonna go into like a wide stance, almost like a child's pose. So my knees are gonna come out, and then from here, I'm just gonna sit on my elbows. And I wanna think about breathing. I like to gently rock back and forth to see if I can work into a little deeper stretch as I push my hips over my heels. But we are gonna hold on to this stretch for 2 minutes. And when we hold on to stretches for 2 minutes, you should think about relaxing and letting go. The whole purpose of stretching is to release stress, to release our muscles and that tension that has built up from traveling, from working out, from whatever it is. So while you're doing this stretch for 2 minutes, focus on your breathing and focus on where you feel the stretch, and try to just use your mind to help you let go in that area. All right, our next stretch number 4, is gonna be our seated piriformis. So our piriformis is a little muscle group that runs right through here. A lot of times we feel it at the bottom of our back or the top of our glute, and that can feel really tight. So I really like to focus on stretching that out. So what I'm gonna do is just think about one leg is gonna be extended straight, and then from here we are gonna cross the opposite leg and just hug it in tightly to our chest. It's gonna be really important that our chest isn't falling forward, because then we're not gonna feel the stretch. Keeping our shoulders up, and we're gonna hug that leg in nice and tight so you get this really great stretch all through here. And then again, just breathing into that stretch so we can just start to let go. This is especially what I like to do when I travel because it isolates each side, doesn't take up a lot of space, and it feels really good. Because a lot of times when we're traveling, we're sitting a whole lot, and so our glutes and everything tend to get really tired. So just opening up our piriformis. For the piriformis stretch, we're gonna hold 2 minutes each side, and it's actually really important to think about keeping your back flat, your chest tall, and we're not rotating a lot because then we're probably gonna feel more of a rotational stretch and less in the glute. So we wanna keep our torso pointed forward and keep hugging that knee into our chest as we keep our shoulders upright. 2 minutes each side. It should feel really good, and you really should feel the tension start to melt away by the end of your 2 minutes. So I'm close. Let's see. Our next stretch is going to be a downward facing dog to cobra. I love this one. So what we're gonna do, and we're gonna go through this process or through this motion for a whole minute. So we're gonna go into a downward facing dog, thinking about driving our tailbone to the ceiling, our chest towards our quads. I like to press both heels into the floor. And then from here, we're gonna come down, we're gonna lower, and then we're gonna think about lifting the top of our head to the ceiling and relaxing our back. If this is too intense for you, we can also do a cobra, just coming to our elbows. So we should be able to keep our hips pinned to the floor. If you're super tight in the front and you feel like your hips are coming off the floor, we don't want that. We wanna keep those hips down to the floor. So just come down to your elbows. Then from here, we're gonna press ourselves back into a down dog. Again, we're gonna scoop down, lowering, and lifting the head to the ceiling. Keep an eye on your hips, make sure they stay pressed to the floor, and just keep working through that for a whole minute. For this next stretch, we're gonna spend 3 minutes in a forward fold position, ideally working through our hamstrings and our lower back. So all that's gonna happen is I'm just gonna take my legs and put them long, and then from here, I'm gonna think about folding with my chest, so I get a nice good stretch in my lower back, and grabbing my toes. I like to keep looking forward and feeling gravity slowly elongate my hamstrings and also my lower back. So 3 minutes in one position is an awful long time, but that's gonna help our fascia, which is the casing around the muscles, start to let go and release. So in this 3 minutes, try to turn your brain off, try to think about counting your breaths. You should be breathing in as long, your inhales should be as long as your exhales. So nice, long, slow inhales, nice, long, slow exhales, and just work into this stretch. All right, our last stretch for this video is gonna be focused on our lower back, but it's also awesome because we're gonna get a little bit of rotation, which is gonna also help with our chest and our pecs. So this is another great one I like to do before I snatch, but it's also good just for full body stretching when we've been sitting on an airplane or sitting in a car to get a little movement back into our body. So what we're gonna do is all you need is a little bit of space. We're gonna lie down on the ground and pull one knee up to our chest and across our body. Ideally, that knee is at 90 degrees. From here, our arms are gonna start long, and we're gonna slowly take our hand up and over, trying to touch the back of the shoulder to the ground. And then we're gonna come back. So it's like we are opening a book. That's why Gowad calls it the book. And we wanna work a little bit further each time, ideally keeping the knee pinned down and getting the back of the shoulder to the ground. I like to follow my hand with my eyes. So my eyes are following the chest that is opening. And each time I'm able to get a little further. For the book, you're gonna complete 1 minute of slow controlled movement per side. So then we'll come back to starting, and then we'll bring the opposite leg over and start working through with the opposite hand. It should help your shoulders start to open, help give you a nice good pec stretch, and also get nice good rotation for your lower back so your glutes and your hips can continue opening up. It's always so much fun to travel, get to meet new people, see new places, make new friends, but it's also very nice to get home and get back into your routine. One of my favorite ways to do this is by stretching. Just unwind, feel really good, let go. And if you guys are traveling, definitely work in some stretching. If you have an hour or you have the GoWOD app, just pull up a quick 8-minute stretch. Find a corner. If people look at you, so what? You're taking care of your body and you're lowering your stress, so that way you're gonna feel better on your trip. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please make sure to smash the like button. If there's any other areas you want to see stretches for or any other specific videos, make sure to comment below. And hope you guys have a great day, and we look forward to bringing you more videos. Have a good one.